Well, hello there. Welcome, everybody. Hello, Angela. How are you doing?
Doing great. How are you?
Oh, wonderful. Hello there. Welcome, family. That was the Bigfoot Outlaw sub channel, ACRA. So make sure if you're not a family member of the Bigfoot Outlaw, please join us. Follow us as our network goes into different directions, different genres. Yeah, make sure and check us out on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. How you doing, Kurt? So, Curtis is here with this chicken. We're not going to talk about his little blue pills he takes or anything like that. Hey, Curtis. Hey, Nelda. So, what have you been up to, Angela?
I just finished up on a portrait I posted, and of course, I still have that portrait next to me, but you can actually see a comparison if you go to my Facebook page, my psychic impression, because I was painting the painting off of my psychic impressions of how he looked because the spirit was visiting me. Painted him, and then towards the end of the painting, got a photo of him, and you can see it's the exact same person.
Wow. Isn't that wild?
It's wild to be validated, and though he was coming to me and so vividly, and he's just such an amazing soul, and he was a fine soldier, and unfortunately he died quite young, but he has this wonderful spirit and a great sense of humor, and it was great to basically have him come to me and then tell me so much and show me so much and paint exactly what he wanted to paint.
That's crazy, isn't it?
It is.
It's really interesting how you can do that. It really is. It never ceases to amaze me. It really
it,
does.
it never ceases to amaze me. I'm just very fortunate that to be given such a great gift. I'm very
And
humbled.
I see you got pictures behind you.
Yes, and so we were talking about spirit animals. So, I do have some of my past paintings here behind me. I got a phoenix, I got a dragon over here. But here's my most recent one, my most recent painting of a spirit animal. And this horse has been with me for a lot of years and shows up quite a bit. But also, this horse has a real life counterpart who's and that he influences the personality of. So this horse, and I was actually moved to paint it. This horse was telling me that there's a lot to be moving forward. Especially, this is actually I did not know that this was the year of the fire horse in the Chinese New Year, and that's about the Chinese New Year is about when I started to paint this and got inspired with all the colors and everything. I did not do any thinking about it. I did no planning of the painting. I just start putting paint on the canvas, and this is what came out. And very fiery personality, and this is about this confidence and this energy and being bold and moving forward. Right, moving forward in the new year, moving forward with your spiritual gifts, moving forward with the light that you've been given.
Hmm.
I
That's
mean,
pretty interesting.
horses teach a lot, and depending on their personalities too, you might have a certain breed of horse that's a spirit animal for you, or a certain color. Some horses just like to hang out with the herd and be comfortable, and some horses like to be bold and adventurous. And my horse happens to be one that likes to be bold and adventurous.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty wild. And you do that for people too? It's one of the
Yes,
services you
yes.
provide?
So that's what I do when I read people. Either they send me a photograph, or they'll sit for me, or I'll talk to them over Messenger, and then I will pick up on their spirits guides around them and paint portraits of their spirit guides, and then relay the messages of those spirits as I'm painting. Now, if it's a really quick painting, 15 minutes, which I do at the psychic fairs, 15, 20 minutes, you sit down and do one in chalk pastel. If you want something more extensive, and I'll spend 2 weeks with your spirit guides, and including all of them and their messages, and this harmonious image comes out that is a message symbolically for you and that you can keep and connects helps you connect with your guides. So that's what I do.
That's interesting. It really is. Ladies and gentlemen, if you never had one done, make sure and check it out. Yeah, Eric, the bunny is uh, it's cleaning my beard, is what it's doing right now. So it loves to be on TV with us. Uh, but spirit animals, right? Warnings.
Yes.
What do you explain to somebody that's never experienced this?
You would explain to them is that we have angels around us, and those angels are sometimes in the form of animals. And God created those animals and their spirit forms of them, and they are our teachers. And if you look in the Bible, it talks about the animals teaching wisdom, right? Learning from the animals. The animals will teach you. It's, and they inspire you, and they are our teachers, and in Native American tradition, indigenous tradition, especially, and even Celtic traditions and many traditions around the world, there's a shamanistic tradition with the belief that the animals, since we learned our survival skills from animals, that they also teach us how to manage life and to also teach us spiritual lessons as well. And the adaptation of that animal is their unique spiritual gifts that they're using to teach you with. Certain animals will teach you certain things. I know that for me, for instance, the crows, they've come to me before. One of my first animal spirit encounters, I was living in an apartment, and I had this dream about a crow that was coming to me and wanting to talk to me. And I thought, well, if this is a real communication, why don't you show up on my roof tomorrow and refuse to leave until I give you permission to leave? And that's exactly what happened. When I got up in the morning, I heard this cawing on the roof of the apartment, and I opened the window. The crow refused to leave until I gave it permission to leave. So I knew that there's a connection there. They're with us all the time, and I had spirit animals visiting me very young that would come to me regularly on my dreams, but I didn't know it at the time. That was shamanism. That was a shamanistic experience, and I was experiencing that very young. And I would welcome these animals, and I would value what they would teach me and show me in my dreams.
When you have the signs from your spirit animals,
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of times they appear during major life transitions,
Yes.
sometimes spiritual awakenings, emotional stress or trauma, important decisions, or times for prayers or seeking directions. What are your thoughts?
Yes, they do show up for that, and it's always the right animal at the right time. Don't judge an animal just because maybe it's not an animal at all. Maybe it's an insect. Maybe you need praying mantis to show up. Maybe you need a butterfly. Maybe it's an ant. Maybe it's a sea creature. It's just the right animal that you need with the right medicine, which in indigenous tradition, the animal's teaching is its medicine. It has the right medicine for you at that time in your life. And I've also had them come to me and also inspire me with a sense of humor as well, and with their messages. Some of them will kind of get goofy and incorporate a sense of humor as well, which is sometimes desperately needed when we're under difficult situations. We just need a laugh to kind of release that tension and not take it too seriously, and just let our guides help us and guide us.
It really is. Yeah. Angela will get to you and want to know your spirit animals. If you do, just put down I do, and we'll get to you in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Signs through real life animal encounters. This happens usually when somebody repeatedly sees the same animal in unusual ways. seeing the same animal every day. What do you mean by that when you see something like that, Angela?
I take it as a message from spirit because being in the outdoors and being very familiar with the animal behavior around me, if it becomes unusual and it's focused on me or it's a certain behavior and it's right there in front of me every day, then I know that spirit is reaching out to me and has a message for me. I One of my paintings that I did was of a phoenix, and I knew it was meant to paint it, but I didn't know what bird I would base that phoenix on. And when I walked outside and I looked up at the sky and I saw a white heron, but it was not flying in the normal way that white herons fly. If you see herons, whether a white heron or a blue heron, they fly in a straight line. They kind of keep their necks tucked in, and because they keep their legs kind of in the back, and they're just flying in a straight line. Well, instead of flying in a straight line, this this white heron, was actually doing a spiral in the sky. It was flying in a spiral pattern, which is something you see with eagles or like buzzards. You might see them fly in a spiral pattern. But this bird was flying right over my head in this spiral pattern. And I looked up at it. I'm like, okay, I accept this sign. This is the bird that I am supposed to base the phoenix on, is a white heron. And the moment I said that, and I said, thank you from spirit for sending this animal to me to teach this and inspire me and to provide me the right message for this painting. And the moment I did that, then the bird flew away and acted normally after that.
Wow, that's wild. So you can actually say that animals appearing during emotional or spiritual encounters.
Yes, absolutely. If you are on like a spirit quest and you're asking for spirit for guidance, and you take a walk in nature or maybe even take a walk in your neighborhood, the animals you encounter, since they are sensitive to spirit, they will relay the messages from spirit to you.
Yeah, they will. Many believe that this can symbolize guidance, protection, a
Mm-hmm.
message about your current path, or it may be a message to slow down and pay attention when you get signs like that.
Absolutely. And pay attention to animals in your dreams too. And I've had animal encounters in my dreams where one I remember in particular, where there was this great bighorn sheep or ram that kept running towards me and had his head down and his eyes were red. But he was charging towards me and he was relaying a message, and I felt it. He was telling me that I was just being stubborn and hard headed about listening to spirit, and he's been trying to get through to me.
Right.
he wasn't intending to be scary or aggressive. He's like, I'm trying to get through to you. You're being hard headed right now. Please listen. And I heeded that warning, and I was very grateful for that. So sometimes, they can rebuke you a little bit and come across a little, hey, you need to pay attention here. And another animal that came to me, and different transitions in my life, where I was transitioned where I was unemployed for a while because I had moved and was trying to help my parents with starting a business. And when he was getting low, I'm like, I don't know where this is going to go. I don't know what's going to happen here. But every night, for many nights, I had this wolf come to me. And the wolf came to me, and it was at night, and there was bright stars behind him. And he walked up to me, and he says, it is time for you to face your fear. You need to pass my test. And he got aggressive with me, but I did not back down. I did not show fear. And he said to me, you have passed my test. Come with me. So I
Wow.
followed the wolf, and he led me into the stars. And I knew what he was saying. He says, look, you have a bright, and he turns to me, you have this beautiful, bright future in front of you. Don't give up now and face your fear, move beyond your fear, and accept this future.
Joey wants to know, then we'll go to Kathy. Do spirit animals change, or do you have the same for a lifetime?
They can change out frequently. There are some that will be bound for you for life, and there are others that will change and come and go as you need help. And they will, pay attention to what animals and even the species of animals. Say you have um, let's say it's a bat, and then you know from your dream it's a very particular species of bat. Let's say it's a fruit bat, and you look up and see where it lives, and you kind of deduce from that, well, what is this fruit bat trying to teach me? And bats have a way of teaching a spiritual maturity. Now, if you see a bat, a lot of times you're at a point where you're about to reach a high level of spiritual awareness and maturity. And depending on the species of bat, it may take on a different form. Like the fruit bats, for example, or flying foxes, they're more of binaural. They're about the day. They're all about the light, and they're about the sweetness of life. And then that bat may be trying to teach you about the sweetness of life. Where if you have another bat species, let's say a vampire bat, and they're very small, they're in the dark, and they only take what they need, and they live in kind of large colonies, then you may be a person that prefers, that needs that darkness and that isolation to kind of recoup, and you need a lot of energy, and it's time for you to rest, and you might have to go within yourself for your enlightenment as opposed to looking outside yourself. So even the species of animal, or even a different kind of species within the same, or different kind of animal in the same species, their location where they live, and even look at their diet and their habits. And a lot of them are centered around numbers as well, and tie into numerology. And like, for example, when they come into maturity, might be 2 years, and maybe that animal represents a project that's going to be in its full maturity in 2 years. So there's a lot to think about when it comes to animals, and since they are so able to teach us with their patterns, even the numbers that they come with, and their colors, and where they live, and what they eat, there is a lot to be learned from them.
All right. Yeah, absolutely. Kathy's up, and she's ready for you.
All right. So Kathy 4320. Now I'm going to grab a rune set to try to connect with your energy and to see what spirit animals are coming through for you. So just a moment. I'll be right with you.
Yeah, this one gets so mad when I kiss him. So.
Okay, so Kathy, I'm going to look at the runes here for you. And the runes are basically a Germanic system of writing that I use to connect. So Kathy, let's talk about your spirit animals. So I'm getting land goose here, so water. I'm seeing duck with you, in particularly, and I see it's a very brown. It's a ruddy duck. It's more of a brownish red color, and I get it's a small male. And ducks love to be about family, and they love to be about comfort, and they love to be about safety, so they prefer the open water to stay safe. But what and I'm getting with you is like this sense of, it feels like you like to distance yourself from people. It's like you're afraid that people will create too much noise or too much chaos, and you just want to be out, kind of by yourself, out there in the middle, kind of like in being in the middle of a lake, where you just want to be away from people and you just want to be at peace. This is what I'm getting on here. But I get a connection with sunsets as well, sky, sunsets, and water. And this duck is coming through And then he says these words to me. He says, waddle, 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 waddle. And the way that, in the way of walking like a duck walks. Um, he says sometimes you kind of saunter a little bit. You kind of walk with a little bit of an attitude. And to try to create a presence for yourself, like you're coming into a room with confidence. If you have to deal with people, you want to walk up to them confidently and to carry yourself with confidence. And you see ducks do that sometimes. If they're being confrontational with somebody or another bird, they will walk up in a very confident manner, and they will see them waddle right up to the other bird. They can actually be pretty forthwith. This bird is encouraging you. He says, yes, you need your isolation. You need your solitude. You need that quiet, that meditation. But understand that you have a lot of inner strength and you have all the colors of the sun within you, he says. And when you strive out and you're talking with people, strive with confidence. Understand that you shine with a great light.
Very interesting. Fuzz was like, Outlaw was like, is that me on TV? Yes. Hello there, Leo Love. Yes. Yeah. All right. Now, next up, we have Dow Dow.
All right, Dow Dow. So I'm going to draw the rune, see if I connect with your spirit animal. Also, I'm seeing something white and furry go by. And I got Wunyo. Okay, so I'm seeing this animal wiggle around a bit, and now it's popping up. So this is in the weasel family. This looks like it's a stoat. This is a white phase of it. This weasel, or they call them ermine, is the white phase of it. So these animals, this animal's telling me, you sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. It's like you sneaky, sneaky, sneaky person. He says, we're very sneaky the way we go about things. Like you're secretive. You don't want to let on to what you're doing to other people. He also says, when you tackle a project, you're on it aggressively. It's like, I'm going to get on this and it's going to get done. Tackle it right now. Grab it right now. And it feels like this ermine is saying, is looking up at you and saying, yeah, we need some projects, because he's saying that you're the type of person that needs something to do, that needs to be focused on something, on the next project for yourself. And he says right now you're kind of at loss for projects, and that you need to make your own projects, your own goals right now that you want to handle and you want to tackle.
Interesting. All right. Next up, we have Crafty. Come on down, Crafty.
Okay, Crafty. Okay. I'm actually seeing a crow come right up to me into my face and look at me with a lot of curiosity. Crafty, I got that this crow is your spirit animal. And this bird is telling me that you like to be standoffish and you like to learn from observing rather than interacting. And that's a lot what like crows will do. They will observe rather than interact. And this crow is making me feel playful. And he's saying that you need to be more playful. He says you need to incorporate more play in your life. You're taking things too seriously. You're analyzing way too much. He says it's time for play. Have playtime. And I'm asking what he suggests is playtime. He says all you need to be goofy and silly sometimes. Let yourself be silly. Let yourself be silly. And you can find. Okay. And he's saying you can actually interact with birds outside. And he says, notice the birds outside, watch the birds outside and leave food for them and try to interact with them, watch them. And he says you can play games with them. And this crow, okay, and this crow is also reminding me to to remind you that the crows have also been the totem of as not a more than one saint, and particularly Elijah, because Elijah was actually fed by crows when he was in the wilderness. So so this crow understands a lot what's going on, and he says you can confide in him as well.
Interesting. All right. Next up, we have Nilda. Come on down.
Nilda. All right, Nilda. Oh, I got your spirit animal even before I touched the rune. So I see an eastern bluebird.
Oh, wow.
And I see this bluebird, and I actually got the rune. It might be hard for you to see on this because this is on wood. This is Yara. This is the rune of harvest. I'm getting an eastern bluebird, and I'm seeing the bluebird's environment. It's like marsh. I see a lot of wetlands. I see bright sunshine. I see this bird looking around with its bright, bold colors. So this bird is telling me, sing your heart out, sing your heart out, sing your heart out. And the bird is showing me that you have a lot of light in your heart that needs to come out and be expressed. And it feels like it's through your voice. So shine your light with your words. Let what you feel in here, up here, guide your tongue, and in pure light with pure intention, let that out, let that be expressed. And he says you do have a sweet voice, and it sounds sweet to the ears who hear it.
Interesting. All right. Next up, living purpose for God's word. Mary. All right, here she comes.
I'll be the one with some crazy animal.
Okay.
You have a rabid
Right.
wolf or a rabid bat.
All right. Believe it or not, living through purpose for God's word. I'm seeing a white rabbit, an albino rabbit with the pink eyes for you.
Oh, wow. That's lucky.
And yeah, really lucky. This rabbit, it says, I'm your lucky charm. He says, I'm your lucky charm. He says he's been with you for quite some time, but particularly in the last 3 months. He says he snuggles with you. He says that he's been trying to tell you, and he says you've been listening off and on, but he's been kind of sprinkling luck. And he says he's that little voice that you hear that says, go for it. Go for it. That's him. That's him when you're hearing go for it. That's him, because it feels like you're in situations thinking, should I do this or not? This sounds like fun. Should I go for it? Should I go for it? And then he's actually nudging you to go for it. And he says, it's okay. Go for it. Have a little fun. He says, too, he's showing me writing as well. Like for some reason, he's showing me with a pen. This is kind of a funny image, a rabbit with a pen writing. But that's what he's showing me. He says he wants you to write out your thoughts. He says that will help you. He says it helps you understand your gratitude, what you're grateful for, and it helps you see that you are a better person than what you judge yourself to be. You're harsher than yourself than who you really are. So he would like you to write out your thoughts, because he talks about your thoughts. He says you have good thoughts. You have a lot of compassion in your thoughts, and you think in a very positive way. And he likes you to see that, write that to reinforce that habit and keep going in that positive direction. Okay. And he says you've been writing around stuff more. Okay. Yeah, you're hard on yourself all the time. Yeah. Well, your friend, your spirit animal is letting me know this, and he's a little white bunny with little pink eyes. And the thing with spirit animals, they don't come with a name a lot of times. It is us that name animals. We are the ones that assign the names. A lot of times I like to go through, as far as when talking to my spirit guide, and if I need to assign a name to that spirit guide, I would usually give them a title. So in the case of your albino rabbit, and you just don't want to call them, hey, my albino rabbit, you can look up the name for rabbit in different languages. Maybe you come up with a title with him, maybe my little cuddler friend, or my little lucky charm, and just call him by that. So animals, they don't come with names. We can assign a name or a title, and you can ask them if they're okay with that, with calling them that, and accept them as that, and you can call them. So you can talk to them, and before you go to bed, talk to them and ask them for help. Okay, so we have Seashells, who's asking for a spirit animal.
Yes.
Okay. Now, the Black Panther I'm getting is not your spirit animal, but it's more of a visitor I'm getting. So this is more of a visitor. It's a spirit that's coming and going. Okay, and the rune I'm getting here, I'm getting Ansu. So I'm seeing your spirit animal. I see a very colorful parrot. I see, it's the blue macaw. So they're native to the Amazon. And the panther, it's just interesting, the black face of the jaguar. There are black jaguars in that same location as well. But I'm getting that the Black Panther is more of a messenger and not like a spirit animal per se. And sometimes messengers will take the form of animals and come and go. But what I'm getting from the panther is protection, that this represents a female relative of yours who's taking this form, who is in spirit, and who is coming with a message of protection. So she kind of circles around you and kind of patrols and protects you from other spirits. Now, the macaw I'm just getting is your spirit animal. The macaw says, oh, we're very good at repeating things. We're very good at listening and repeating what we hear. We're very good at that. So he's saying that you hear an awful lot, but you're holding your tongue now because you can repeat verbatim what other people have said with all the information that they have given you or what you have heard with your own ears. And it's as if you say something, somebody's whole house of cards are going to come down, right? Because you're like, ooh, this is juicy gossip, but I'm not a gossip, so I'm going to keep this to myself. And what I'm getting, though, from the parent, he says, congratulations for rising above the gossip. He says the many colors of the parent are like the phoenix. It's the expression of fire, of the fiery heart, the fiery soul. He says you have a lot of fire and a lot of passion. Let it out. Let your wildness come out. If you like bright colors, then strut out in your bright colors. Okay? Let that fun side of yourself, that passionate, that fiery side of yourself come out, because it's a lot of fun.
Very interesting. Dada says you're right on. Yes, absolutely. So that's Yeti. This is Yeti, everybody.
Yay, Yeti. You're so cute. You're so cute, Yeti.
Yeah. C-Cell says they're going to do just that. It's been kind of going back. I hear that. Yeah, get that beard. I know, right? That's what he wants. They love my beard.
So cute.
And this one's a lion's head. All right, now, anybody else have any questions? Did everybody get their spirit animal? Angela, what is mine?
Oh, sure. I'm getting the impression there's more than one, and they're coming forward one at a time. And I don't even have to draw the runes for the first, but I did draw one for you. The first one that comes up is a frog. I'm seeing this frog come out. This frog is stepping forward. And it's a common frog that we have around everywhere. Is a green frog. This frog is saying, he says, you're somebody that you travel very well in the spirit world. He says, you actually, when you are sleeping and you go within, especially in your dream life, you go within yourself, you're actually traveling, you're actually seeking in your dream state. And it's like going through water. He talks about too, okay, and he says that you sit and you meditate a lot, because he's showing me sitting on a lily pad and sitting there and just being still. And he's saying that's meditation. It's like sitting on the lily pad. He talks about, okay, and hearing buzzing. It's like you get a little bit of auditory phenomenon at times, because I'm hearing buzzing, because you let me hear buzzing insects like dragonflies and buzzing by me. And he says, sometimes you get a little bit of a hearing interference, and it sounds like it could be almost like a ringing in the ears. And when spirit is nearby, but he says also sometimes you hear words.
Yes.
Okay, so he says also you're able to sense things outside of yourself, sort of like, he says, how a frog kind of absorbs things through its skin, and it says like you kind of absorb information through your aura, he says. Now you have more than one. There are two other animals that want to come forward. Another one is a horse. It's a very white horse. And this is a huge animal. This looks like a draft horse because it's so big. But I see it also has manes on its feet, like the Clydesdale horses. So this is the type of horse that it is. So it is a draft horse. It's a big horse. And this big white horse says you carry on big projects. You drag along big projects. He says you carry a lot of weight with these large projects. He's showing me a lot of pulling. And he says, but you like it. And to you, it doesn't seem like a big deal. And it feels like you're almost made to carry these big projects. He also says, okay, he says too, is like, he says, stand proud. He says, stand tall. He says, you don't have to be, conceited. He says, but just be proud and for what you do and what you've accomplished so far. He also says that you're in a position of honor among the spirit world, because I have another animals coming forward and they're thanking you and thanking you. Okay. And they're particularly thanking you for the work that you've done with coming together on, when you bring psychics together and you have unsung crimes and the psychics work together. They're thanking you for making that happen. And the third animal, I'm waiting for this third animal to come forward. All I can see is brown right now. I don't know what this animal is yet. Show me your face. Show me your face. Okay, I see it. So this is a fisher. You know what fishers are, right? So
Right.
they're kind of part of the weasel family. So he came up and he put his nose right on my nose. He talks about sometimes we have to be a little secretive about our next projects and what we're going to do. Sometimes we have to be a little secretive. He says you have a lot of good products and you have a good instinct. He's saying follow your nose. He keeps saying follow your nose. If it smells right, go for it. If it doesn't smell right, don't. He's like, follow your nose. Smells goes with what smells right. So discernment. If it smells right, go for it.
Yeah, interesting. All right, we have one. Hold on, Yeti. Trying to hit a button. He's like, don't. He's like, keep rubbing me. All right, we have Leo Lover. Come on down, Leo Lover.
All right, Leo. And I'm just using the runes to kind of connect with your energy here. So I got Fayu. I'm seeing a lot of fire I'm seeing the sun, and I'm seeing fire. And I'm seeing a horse walk out, and this horse is made of fire. Okay, so this horse, the first horse that brought to mind was Odin's horse, the way that this animal looks and comes forward. And if you know your Norse mythology, Odin had an 8-legged horse that was so powerful it could run across the sky in one leap, but yet not bruise a reed. It had that mix of power and gentleness. But when I see this fiery assertion with the sun, I'm getting a sense that you have a lot of creativity, he says. You have a lot of creativity. It's like you are constantly creating and wanting to create. And it comes from a kind of a fiery drive. He also says, pursue your creativity. He says, you've been held back. It feels like you've been muted or held back from being creative as far as actually being able to create what you want to create. He says, engage in your creativity. So I see art. I see art being created. He says, engage in that, move forward with that. He says he is your inspiration. He is not just your spirit guide. He is the muse for your creativity. Muse, M-U-S-E, the inspiration for creativity. He says he tries to take you in your meditation and take you on journeys so that to stimulate your creativity, so that when you're done with your journey, you come back knowing what you're going to create. He would like you to meditate and visualize the sun and visualize this horse coming out of the sun to meet you, and let him guide you and take you on guided journeys, so that he says you were chosen to create, and create whenever you have a moment, even if it's just something small, or if all you can do is just a few minutes, do it, because it's going to get bigger and it's going to take over, and you'll see this purpose unfold in your life.
Wow. All right. Next up, we have Satya 2040. Welcome. Come on down.
All right, Satya. Okay, so I got algaes. And this is what I heard when I saw Satya's name. I heard small animal alert, small animal alert. You know, so the spirit animal's coming through with a sense of humor. A little tiny animal. And I'm actually seeing, okay, so this is, they're desert animals. It's a chinchilla. Is what I'm seeing. It's a chinchilla. But the chinchilla comes first with this great sense of humor, like small animal alert, small animal alert. And the chinchilla says, okay, you're a bit anxious. You are constantly looking around for the next danger. It's like you're always looking around you. And he says, you're just too anxious. He says, you can be alert and aware and focused, but not anxious. There's a difference. He's like, take a deep breath. Calm yourself. You got this. You are well aware of what's going on around you. So practice mindfulness, right? Feel who's around you. Sense what's around you. See in the long view. And he's giving me the image of being in the desert and looking around on this long flat plain and looking way out to see if there's any danger around. He also says that you like small groups. You don't like to be in big groups. You like small groups of friends. He also says that you kind of like to hang out and do a little bit of nothing. It's just like you want to just hang out and just kind of diddle daddle a little bit, go here and there and diddle daddle. He says that's perfectly fine. He's also showing me something that chinchillas do is that they give themselves dust baths. He's showing me giving himself a dust bath. He says you like to pamper yourself. And he says you like to go and that you like that spa experience. He says you like to pamper yourself. He says you go ahead and pamper yourself at home and incorporate that into a meditation practice. And he says you'll hear from me and you'll know when I'm around. You'll feel me around. And how he's laying this out. So like if you have a quiet meditation, maybe you pamper yourself, maybe you give yourself a spa day or a spa evening, and then after that, use that relaxation you experience that you created for yourself to go into a meditation. So deep breathing, and it doesn't have to be serious. You can just clear your mind. And let the chinchilla come up to you and show you some silly things and give you some silly ideas and have a little fun. But the chinchilla is saying that you're a little bit anxious. We just need to calm down, and that meditation would be a great help to you, especially a meditation and imagining yourself and visualizing yourself in a desert setting. So the type of environment that chinchilla is familiar with.
Awesome. All right, next up. Oh my Lord. Joey. Why do I get Hey, Joey's like, really, Grizzly? Go ahead, Angela.
All right, Joey, let's see what we got. Okay, so I got Tiwaz. So Tiwaz is more of the Oath Keepers, the warrior rune. And I'm getting a rooster for you. And I'm getting a Rhode Island, and particularly the Rhode Island red rooster. So this rooster is coming forth. He's talking about, the roosters talk about they have this ancient heritage going back to ancient Egypt, this association with the sun. So the roosters were actually revered in ancient times. And he talks about, okay, the rooster is protective and bold, and he's making me feel like you hold back your aggression a bit and you want to go forward. It's like you want to go forward and attack. You want to be out there. You want to pursue something aggressively. It's like you always want to move forward and move fast, move into things, kind of rushing into things, he says, is what you like to do. He says you like to sound the alarm. You like to sound the alarm. He says you are hyper vigilant, and that's the state that you like to be in, is state of hypervigilance. He says, though, you need to channel that in a more positive way. He's saying that with this vigilance, you need to engage in some sort of physical activity, right? Something like maybe self-defense, something like that has something physical involved with that, right? Something you enjoy that's going to incorporate exercise and challenges for your mind and for your body as well to keep you healthy and fit. He says, pay attention to your diet. He says, your diet is very messy. You're a very messy eater, he says. He also talks about, he says, channel your energy in a positive direction. He says, whenever you feel like you're going to need to launch yourself into something, he says, channel that in a positive way. If you have to take a breath and write down something positive that you can do with that aggressive energy, write it down and start working on it.
All right, Joey. Your spirit animal is coming through. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Here it comes. And Joey, there you are. There's Joey's spirit. Oh, Joey. Hello, Joey.
Joey's saying thank you, and you're welcome, Joey. And you can look up rooster. There's all sorts of mythology about roosters, and ancient. Ancient people held these animals in very high esteem spiritually. But we think of them as a goofy side, but if you read into them more, they're quite remarkable. They have very special vision. They have a very special brain. They're actually.
You ain't lying. That's why I like watching that one. Oh, I think I need a heart feel. Good movie, by the way, Joey says. Hey, Joey, you can tell your sister you started a movie. Anyway.
Mhm.
All right, Joey. Damn it, Mary. I was doing good till Mary laughed. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not a family member, make sure and join the Big Outlaw Family Network. Man, we got so much coming down the pipeline and so forth. Make sure and ring the bell, jump on the bandwagon, become an Outlaw member. Hey, Cindy, nice to have you there. Chris says, hey, you put my question up 4 times now with no response. This is a specific day that passed my dog's birthday. Can you please tell me? Yeah, every time I put your question up, never mind. Yes, Chris. Go ahead, Angela.
Okay, so as we talked before, Nugget is like your head communicator for all the spirits around you. So I'm asking Nugget if he's got a message. Okay. Okay, so I'll tell that. Okay. He's showing me a pillow for so he says, I'm next to you on your pillow, he says. I've been sleeping next to you right on your pillow, he says. Nugget's coming through with that. He also says, I'm asking him if there's any other animals, spirit animals that he sees for you. He says, don't look down, but there's an eagle. he's looking back like there's an eagle back there. And he's showing me in particularly the bald eagle. And he says this eagle is here to help you rise above and to see the long view of things and to get a better perspective, a high view of things. He says you can trust that eagle. He says you can visualize in a meditation where this eagle is sitting on a branch and it's over water and you're on the shore and Nugget is right there and Nugget is walking you towards the eagle and the eagle takes off and you're able to fly off with the eagle. And this eagle has a lot to say. This eagle is for right now is saying, I'm ready. I am ready to take you to a higher plane because this eagle wants to show you like the experience of what it's like to be in the astral realm. And that's what he's there for. Oh, you sleep with the little pillow that looks like him.
Wow.
Oh, how sweet. That's why he was saying, I'm on your pillow every night. So you know that's from him for sure. Wow, that's validation.
Fascinating. See, Chris, we didn't forget about you. No, we sure didn't.
Save the best for last.
No, Mary said we saved the best for last.
Right, Chris.
Absolutely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you enjoyed the show. Make sure and check out the Bigfoot Outlaw Network. Make sure and check out Angela. Her information's down at the bottom. Anything you want to add, Angela?
Absolutely. I mean, yes, meditate and enjoy your spirit. Get out more and observe the animals and ask them, ask before you go outside. Ask for God to teach you through the animals and to send messages through them. And you'll be surprised the experiences that you have on your walk when you're outside in the woods or even walking around in their neighborhood. So take that with you. Just take the little bit of wisdom with you everywhere you go.
Yes. Mary says he wants a part 2 about animal spirits.
You can continue next week if you'd like.
So, yeah, let us know. And from coast to coast, around the world, everybody, good night. We'll catch you on the next show. Bye-bye.